All right, so today we're doing something a little different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going deep on, well, lyrics.
Lyrics.
Lyrics, yeah. From music.
Like song lyrics.
Exactly, song lyrics. We're going to take one song, break it down, figure out what makes it tick.
Interesting.
It is, right?
All right.
And you know how music, like a good song, can really hit you in the feels?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's what we're after today. We're trying to unpack those feels, see what's going on under the surface.
Kind of like a lyrical x-ray.
I like that, a lyrical x-ray.
Yeah.
So our source material today comes from, get this, a YouTube channel
Okay.
called MyCompiledThoughts. The song is called Bite Me. Now, this song, it's raw,
Yeah.
a little chaotic, even,
Mm.
but that's what makes it so compelling. It's not polished, it's real. And through that, I think we can learn a lot about the creator, who they are, what they're going through.
I'm intrigued. So where do we start with this lyrical x-ray?
Well, the first thing that jumped out at me reading through these lyrics was the repetition.
Oh.
Yeah, certain phrases, they just keep coming back over and over, like, brother thoughts, let them know how you feel. And this one really hit me. I just want to be loved.
Okay, so lots of repetition. What do you think that tells us?
It feels almost stream of consciousness? Like the thoughts are just pouring out, unfiltered.
Right, just kind of spilling onto the page.
Exactly. But I got to ask, what do you make of it, as an expert? What's the significance of all this repetition?
Well, it's really interesting how those repeated phrases are mixed up with all these like conflicting emotions. You've got heartbreak, but then defiance, then this deep longing for love. It's almost like they're grappling with all these different feelings all at once.
That makes sense. It's like an internal battle playing out in the lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. An internal battle. And that stream of consciousness style you mentioned, it's a way of capturing that. It's like a snapshot of their mind at that moment, all the chaos and intensity of it.
Okay, that's fascinating. Now, there's one phrase in particular that keeps popping up, and I'm really curious about it. Brother thoughts. What do you think the creator's trying to convey with that?
Brother thoughts. It's almost like they're personifying their thoughts, giving them a separate identity. Maybe it's a way of distancing themselves from those thoughts, from the pain they represent.
Sort of like an alter ego for their darker side?
Could be. Could be. Or maybe it's more about seeking validation, like they're reaching out to someone, even if it's just a figment of their imagination, for understanding.
Okay, so we've got this repetition, this emotional tug-of-war, and this interesting brother thoughts motif. But there's something else that really stands out to me. The imagery.
Ah, yes.
It's so vivid and kind of all over the place. We've got demons got me trapped in your spell, and then out of nowhere, spicy baby. What's going on there?
It's a really interesting mix, isn't it? It's like they're drawing from all these different sources to try to capture the intensity of what they're feeling.
Do you think those images give us clues about the story behind the song?
I think so, definitely. The demons and the spell, they suggest a feeling of being overwhelmed, maybe even betrayed. Like they're caught in something they can't control.
Like being pulled in by some kind of dark force.
Exactly. But then you've got spicy baby, which adds this whole other layer. Spicy, it can mean so many things these days, right? Exciting, dangerous, a little bit edgy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like pushing the boundaries.
Right. And in the context of these lyrics, it almost feels like a way of reclaiming power, like
Yeah.
embracing the intensity of those feelings, even if they're painful.
Okay, so we're seeing this like push and pull between giving in to those feelings and trying to fight back. And I think that comes through really clearly in the contrast between two very different lines. Bite me and I just want to be loved.
Yeah, that's a powerful juxtaposition. How can someone be so aggressive one minute, then so vulnerable the next?
It's almost like two sides of the same coin, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's what makes this song so relatable. Heartbreak, it's not always neat and tidy, right? It can be messy, confusing. It can make you lash out one minute and then crave affection the next.
Makes sense. So the bite me, maybe that's just a defense mechanism, way of pushing away the pain.
Could be, absolutely. But then underneath that anger, you've got this raw need, this plea for connection. I just want to be loved.
Yeah, that line just gets me every time.
It's powerful, isn't it? It cuts through all the noise, all the defenses, and gets right to the heart of what they're feeling.
Absolutely. Now, there's one more repeated phrase I want to touch on. Teach me, love me. It comes up several times, and it seems really significant. Who do you think the creator's talking to here?
That's a good question. Could be the person who hurt them, right? Like a plea for them to understand, to change their behavior.
Yeah, almost like a cry for help.
Exactly. Or maybe it's directed more broadly, like at the world in general. Like they're saying, look, I'm hurting, I need connection, but I also need guidance. I need to learn how to love and be loved.
Yeah, I can see that. And it's not just love me, it's teach me love me. There's a real sense of vulnerability there, a willingness to learn.
Absolutely. It's like they're saying, I'm open to change, I want to grow, but I need help.
So to recap, we've got someone who's clearly going through a lot emotionally, using this raw, almost stream of consciousness style to express their pain, their anger, but also this deep longing for love.
And it's all wrapped up in this really striking mix of imagery, these conflicting emotions, this back and forth between aggression and vulnerability.
It's really fascinating how much you can learn about someone, their inner world, just by analyzing something like a song, even if it's a little chaotic on the surface.
I think it speaks to the power of art, right? In all its forms. It's a reflection of the human experience. And by taking the time to really engage with it, we can learn so much, not just about the creator, but about ourselves and the world around us.
Couldn't have said it better myself. This has been really insightful. Makes you think, Like, if heartbreak is such a universal experience, why is it that we often see these same patterns, this mix of aggression and vulnerability in how we deal with it? Something to ponder, for sure. Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.